Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to another studio vlog. I am Tanish Fortson, your virtual embroidery coach. Now, tonight's video is really fun because we are making a Minky blanket for my neighbor. Her daughter is turning 2 years old. I can't decide which fabric to use, so I'm going to show you guys both of the fabrics that I have lined up. The first one is this pair right here. This is a Robert Kaufman Minky fabric, and this is a Shannon Minky fabric. I do have these two colors picked out. I have been wanting to use this fabric for a very long time, and this is my second option. This is a spoon flower fabric, and I do believe it is with spoon flower. They are like custom made to the fabric of your choice, and I did choose Minky, and then I chose for the pattern to go vertical. So they're just like little purple buffalo, and then I would be pairing it with this Minky fabric. And here are the two colors. The coordinating color would be the knockdown stitches, and then the purple would be her name. And also, by the way, I just want to mention that my kids are home, so this video may be a little more informal because you may or may not hear them playing in the background, and they may even try to come in my video. You all know that I am a working mother and I do this business right with my kids here with me. So let's head over to the computer to start digitizing this file. Okay. I already have her name, which is Elena or Ilana. I'm not sure the way it's pronounced. The font that I want to use is called Green Lemonade. I'm not gonna bother anything because when you start resizing purchased fonts, it really messes with the satin stitch. So the only thing that I am going to do is space this out a little more, just so that I can have space for the knockdown stitches. All right, this should be okay. I'm gonna open up my digitizing software. We need an outline stitch, so I'm gonna click on create an outline from stitches on this page, and I have my outline stitch. I am going to move this earlier, and now I am going to click on the outline. We can't see it because it's covered up by the satin stitches, but if we look over here in the properties box, we know that it's there. So I have the outline clicked. I am going to come up here to inflate objects, and I'm going to inflate it to about 3, we'll just say 3 millimeters. It's a very small outline. And then in the A's, we have holes. So I'm not going to inflate those. I am going to deflate those. I think I'm going to do a 3.5 just so that you can see it a little more. Here we are. And I'm going to hit OK. What I'm going to do is kind of examine some of the notes. They are out of order, so I am going to put these in order. I'm going to go rather fast, but I'm not doing anything important other than putting these in the order that I want them. So we have the A, N, A. So now it's in the correct order. So now I'm just going to evaluate some of these nodes. This is a lot of nodes. But honestly, I'm not selling this design. I just wanted to stitch good enough for this blanket. I'm not going to fret over all these extra nodes. With my machine, it'll stitch fine. I don't know about some of the other machines, but generally you want as least nodes as possible. I just want to make sure there's no nodes on top of each other, and they're not. All right, so now I have my outline. The outline that we have, we want to turn this outline into fill stitches. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to hit the fill button, and they are going to fill in. I'm going to change the color right now, and I'm going to put the color of the actual fabric. I did decide to stitch on the buffalo fabric, so we are using Madeira. I'm going to come up here to Madeira Poly. Did I pass it already? Here it is. And I'm going to do a color search, and I'm using the color 1810. And I'm going to click on the number because it's actually a number search. I'm going to click right there. All right, so for the letters, I am using color 1834, and I got to go to Madeira again. I should just automatically have it set to Madeira. 1834 is the color, and we're going to click on number, and then we're going to hit go. It looks, you know, a little crazy right now, but we're going to fix that. So for this fill stitch, if you don't have digitizing software, I believe Embrilliance Enthusiast has the knockdown stitch option, but we don't need that because we digitize. Yeah, since it's individual letters, I'm just going to tie at the entry and the exit because these are fairly large letters. Let's come back right here. We're going to use a tatami stitch. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to hit travel edge. I'm going to come over here and let's see. This looks okay. So for the inset, I am going to take it down to 0, just to give it that crisp on the outside edges. All right, so we are pretty much done at this point. Let's get this fabric hooped. So I'm using my 8x13 mighty hoop. And I'm going to use 3-ounce cutaway stabilizer. I have a pin in here where the center is at. Let me grab my fabric weight. This is a fabric weight. They are on Amazon. There's my pin that represents the center. The center is right here. I'm gonna scoot it up a little bit more. Now I'm gonna put this fabric weight just to hold the blanket in place. I am going to take one last look. I'm gonna grab my Solvay. This does have a very high pile. We did put knockdown stitches, but I'm very cautious, especially when embroidering on really thick Minky fabric. All right, let's get this on the machine. This is the blanket hooped. And obviously we have the bulk of the fabric hanging down in front of the machine. You want to come in here and tuck this part right here out. Because it's still a significant amount of fabric behind here, you will want to periodically check on it while it's stitching, just so that it doesn't get caught under. My presser foot, I'm going to raise it to about, this has like a, I want to say like an 8 to 10 millimeter pile. We have 3-ounce cutaway and we have Solvay on top. So I'm going to put the presser foot at about a 6 or a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is how the blanket looks in my software. I have the active feed set to 11. I'm stitching at 1100 stitches per minute. 11 to 1200 stitches per minute is my sweet spot because it allows me to still go fast without thread breaks. It's go time. All right, so all of the knockdown stitches are complete. And now we're gonna go on to do the satin stitch. This is a rather thick satin stitch, so some of them are split. I did not test stitch anything. However, I have used this font before, and as long as I don't bother anything, it's usually okay. All right, it's done embroidering. It took about 25 minutes and it looks absolutely gorgeous. It's so pretty. So let's get this cleaned up and then we are going to prep this blanket for sewing. All right, there are no jump stitches or anything that we need to cut. So I'm going to remove the solvay first. This is my youngest daughter, Kennedy. She's supposed to be in the bed sleeping, but she took a nap today. Sometimes it's hard to get all of the solvay off in the smaller areas. All right, let's turn it over. Bless you, baby. I'm gonna sit my weight right here and, excuse me, baby, you gotta move over a little bit. I'm just gonna get these loose threads. Just cutting away the stabilizer. Nobody's gonna, I need a little bit of space, baby, while I'm cutting. Thank you. Oh, it's so gorgeous. If you guys need more in-depth help with creating stitches, I do have a mini course and it is on blanket making, and it tells you everything that you need to do step by step on how to make a blanket. I give you 23 different fonts that work well with Minky fabric, and I also give you a pricing guide, and then I tell you where to buy the Minky fabric from. So it's a real good deal. It is a mini course, so it is at a cheaper price if you guys are interested. I need to make some space on my table because we need to cut this blanket to size. Just trying to smooth everything out. All right, I'm just gonna grab my scissors and freehand cut. You're gonna need some kind of vacuum or something handheld. And we also gotta leave room for the tag, which will be right down here. I'm just freehand cutting. I don't want to run the vacuum, it's too late at night. So I'm just gonna shake this on the floor and I will vacuum it up later. You don't want to cut the blanket with all this excess fur in there. So now it is time to pin. All right, I have already started sewing, but I am using the same 100/16 needle. My preference is the 90/14 needle or 14/90, but I don't have any, and the 16/100 has been working just fine. The first part of the blanket that I have sewed was the opening that we're leaving, and I like to start right there just so that I don't forget and I accidentally sew it closed. I'm leaving about 1/2 inch of a seam allowance. So I am used to going a little bit faster when I'm sewing blankets just because I'm used to sewing blankets and it's just a straight stitch. But I'm not on an industrial machine. It's a little slippery. I do have some quilting gloves and I think that I am going to grab them. All right, this should help a little with the slippage and keeping it even. Whoa. All right, I can't go that fast, so let me just slow it down. You want to turn the fabric as you're going, especially if your machine doesn't have like a table. The blanket is sewn together. So now we're just going to find the opening which is right here. I did cut some excess fabric off of camera, just it's so messy. So there's like Minky fabric all over my studio. I'm gonna need to vacuum it up. But here's my opening. I did leave a little extra fabric by the opening so that I can tuck it in and close it, as well as have enough room to put my washing instructions right here. So I'm just going to stick my hand down in here. I'm gonna go all the way to the opposite side. I'm gonna grab it with my hands and I'm gonna pull it out. So this is how the name looks. And this is how the printed part of the Minky looks. Now I'm just gonna grab something sharp. All right, I have this little Dollar Tree craft stick. So I'm gonna come in the corners and I'm just gonna pop the corners out gently. I'm gonna do this for all 4 corners. So the last thing that we need to do is top stitch, and then the top stitch will allow us to close off that hole and add our tag. All right, this is my tag. If you guys are gonna be blanket makers, I suggest getting better tags than these. I got these off of Amazon like in 2021 when I first started making blankets. They are nothing fancy, but they have nicer tags. You can clip them on, you can sew them on like in that rectangular shape and get your business name engraved on them. It's really so many options. I sell blankets, but not like that anymore. As soon as I run out of fabric, I'm not going to be selling them anymore. And usually the fabric that I have now, I'm just going to use it as gifts. So whenever there's a birthday or a wedding shower or anything, this will be their gift. If you know how to embroider, you should never be buying like gifts anymore. You should only buy the blank or whatever you need to make their gift. I really haven't bought a birthday, a bridal shower, a baby shower gift since 2021, since I started embroidering. So anyhow, while I am pinning this, I just want to take the time to thank you guys for subscribing to my channel. I know that this is a relatively new channel, but it is my goal to provide you guys with weekly videos. I'm not going to commit to anything more because I know that I can't do anything more. And even this in itself is a lot for me. It is my way of giving back. I call this my community service because it's free. I do have paid things like courses and stuff if you guys want to learn more. And I'm also going to be opening up my own community. So by the time you guys see my next video, which is the video that'll be after this, which will premiere on, I think, September 17th or so, my community will be open. My community is for intermediates, beginning as well if you're really motivated. If you have 0 embroidery skills, if you don't know anything, if you're starting from the very beginning, I will have some introduction videos that'll tell you how to work a single needle, a couple that'll show you how to do a tension test, and maybe just a few more just to get you started. But the community that I'm building will be an excellent resource for like-minded individuals who want to do this as a living. I do feel like I was called to do this. The Lord has been working on me. I never had any interest to share my embroidery skills. That's why I say the Lord has been working on me. You know, everyone loved my embroidery and everyone would ask me, you know, all these questions. And then I just kind of fell into making the courses. Everybody wanted information, and the information is so scarce in this field. We have a long way to go in this community. I made my first course, which was single needle mastery. And then everyone was like, oh, you know, you digitize? Like, how'd you learn to digitize? And then I was like, I took a course, you know, some years ago, but it was like very basic and simple. And the way that it was taught, it like really wasn't my learning style. She was good. Like, I don't have any complaints about her. It's just that my learning style was a little bit different. So it took me 2 years to learn how to digitize, you guys. From the time that I took that course, like I still didn't know how to digitize. And it has a lot to do with where you are in your mindset and if you're ready or not. And I do also believe what contributed to me taking so long was that I mentally wasn't ready. Like, you need to be kind of mentally ready to digitize, because you need to be able to see certain things, and I didn't have it yet. My mind, I don't think, was ready for all that. So it took me 2 years. I would try to rewatch the stuff that she sent us, but you know, it just really wasn't clicking for me. I ended up just kind of playing around for 2 years, and then finally something clicked one day and I knew how to digitize. I'm making this community because it is what I feel like I was called to do. I noticed a lot of people that is in this community, they weren't very helpful. Although they would act helpful, but they weren't very helpful. And I'm not even trying to talk, you know, bad about anybody, because, you know, that's where my mindset was as well. Like, I would give some information, but I wouldn't give, you know, every single thing. And not saying that that's a bad thing. Some people like to protect their craft. That's the way that I look at it. They like to protect maybe what pays their bills. It will be a paid community. It's not going to break the bank or anything like that. But we will meet as a group twice a month. We will practice embroidery. We will talk embroidery. We will talk about your businesses. We'll talk about content strategies. We will talk about any and everything under the sun. And it can also be student directed. We can talk about what you guys want to talk about. So I'm really excited for this new chapter in embroidery. As I am sewing this, I will be using this tool. This is an old school ceramics tool back when I used to do ceramics back in 99, 2000, when I was in college, and I used to be an art major. I used to do pottery. I tried the potter's wheel. I wasn't that good at it, but I did like ceramic sculpture. So I'm gonna backstitch, not backspace. Let me put on these quilting gloves because this is gonna be slipping and sliding. Some of the Minky fabric that is caught in the seam, I'm just using this tool to bring it up. It looks really nice when you have, like, when you do your top stitch and there's Minky fabric that peeks out. That's really cute to me. All right, as we get closer to the tag, we gotta sew a little further up, so that 1/2 inch seam that I was doing is gonna have to turn into a 1/4 inch. And I have a little kink right here, so I don't know. I'll just work the kink out somehow. My tag, I wanna just make sure my tag is straight. You guys see right here, I'm not sure if I maybe pull it. It's almost like I'm gonna have to pleat it. I hope you guys can see over my fingers, but I'm just trying to hold everything in place. Let's see if this corner will pop out a little bit more. All right, let's turn. And I can take these pins out. You guys see what I'm doing? I'm just getting some of the Minky that's caught out. All right, here is the final results. All right, let's open it up. I put some safety pins in just to keep it together. It's pretty big. Here's the other side. Close-up of the name. So if you guys are interested, I do have a mini course on how to make these blankets, and I give you every single thing that you need to know. It's called Minky Stitch and it is linked below. If you found this video helpful, do not forget to like this video and subscribe. I will be uploading weekly videos. Let me know in the comments below if you guys will be making these Minky blankets. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.